Hi, this is Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. Today I'm going to show you how to work Bavarian Twisted Stitches without using a cable needle. You can see Bavarian Twisted Stitches are used in my Rippling Sands pattern, and you're just going to be making a 1/1 cable to the right and to the left. And with this kind of stitch, you can use a cable needle if you like, but it's actually really simple and quicker and easier to do it without a cable needle. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that now. I have a little swatch prepared to show you on. And the first row, we're going to work the twisted stitches to the right hand side. So in order to do that, I'm going to purl to one stitch before the stitches we want to cross, and these will be designated in your pattern with a cable symbol. So we're working to one stitch before our knit stitch column. We're going to, with our right hand needle, slip that purl stitch from back to front, purlwise, to our right hand needle. Then what we're going to do is move our yarn to the back of our work, and we're going to knit into the back of that knit stitch through the back loop. That's what twists our stitch. If we knit it normal, it won't be twisted. So we're going to knit into the back of that loop, and then what we're going to do is bring our yarn forward, and I'll turn it so you can see from the back. With our left hand needle, we're going to grab that second stitch on the needle, which is the one that we had previously slipped and not worked, and we're going to slide that and the first stitch off of our right hand needle. So that stitch is going to stay on our left hand needle. The other stitch that we just knit is going to be in the front. We're just going to pick that up with our right hand needle so it's on the right hand side. When I flip it back forward, you can see now that this stitch has crossed over the other one. Since we've already worked this stitch, we don't need to do it again. So we're just going to move on and purl that next stitch. And we're going to continue to purl until we get to, again, one stitch from that next knit stitch. And I'll show you again how we do that. So we're going to slip that next stitch, bring the yarn to the back, knit the knit stitch through the back loop, and then we're going to bring the yarn forward, look at the back of our work and grab that second stitch, slipping them both off, grab that front stitch that popped off with our right hand needle, and turn our work, and we can see it crossed again to the right. Again, one more time, we're going to continue. We're going to slip that stitch, bring the yarn back, knit through the back loop, grab the stitch, pop them off, and grab this cross stitch over, and then continue to the end of the row. Now when you're working in the round, you're going to have a rest row. Either way you're working, you're going to have a rest row in between, just like you do with typical cabled patterns. If you're working in the round, you'll be starting again on this side. And when you're doing the rest round, you're just going to knit this stitch through the back loop, the knit stitch here, while purling the rest. If you're working your fabric flat, like I'm doing this swatch, I'll show you how to do that now. So all the stitches that were purled before on the right side, we're going to knit now. When you get to that stitch that was crossed over, you can see it's a purl bump. Instead of purling it the regular way, you're going to again use the back loop instead of the front loop. So we're going to purl into the back loop and continue on all the way across. When you get to those purl bumps, bring your yarn forward and purl into the back loop. To the back loop there. So that's a Bavarian twisted stitch to the right, and you can see we get that nice curve to the right when we're working this. Now in the pattern, there are stitches that are curved to the right, and then there's some rest rows, and then there's stitches that are curved to the left. So I'm going to do a rest row right now just so you can see what it looks like without actually cabling, but working those stitches twisted. So whenever we get to, when we're not cabling but we're working these rows as a rest row, Whenever you get to the knit column stitch, you're just going to knit it through the back loop. That's all you do. And we're going to do that all the way across, knitting each of the knit stitches through the back loop. That's twisting it for us. And when you're twisting stitches in this way, it makes for a really defined cable stitch. That can make your fabric look and feel a little bit more dense, and it's not a very drapey, soft fabric, but it allows for the stitches to really pop out at you. So now I'm working on the wrong side, and again, when I get to that purl bump stitch, I'm going to purl it through the back loop. So we're always twisting that stitch on right side, wrong side, rest rows. We're always going to be twisting that stitch. There we go again. And here's the last one. So we did to the right, and then we did some rest rows, and now I'm going to show you how to do it to the left. When you're working to the left without a cable needle, you're going to work right up to that stitch that you want to cross. And what you're going to do is you're going to slip, this time it's going to be the knit stitch you're going to slip with the right hand needle, and you're going to hold it in front. Bring your yarn forward, and you're going to purl the next stitch. Now we want to cross it, so we're going to take our left hand needle and insert it into the second stitch, which is that knit column stitch, and we're going to pop them both off again. This time we're going to take our right hand needle and scoop up that stitch, the first stitch, onto the right hand needle. So now we've crossed it over to the left. Since we haven't worked this knit stitch yet, we're going to go ahead and do that now by knitting it through the back loop. So for the next one, again, we work right up to that knit stitch. We're going to slip it. We're going to bring our yarn forward and purl one. And then we're going to, from the front, with our left hand needle, slip that knit stitch off. And we're going to pop both those first two stitches off and grab that first one right here with our right hand needle. So now we've crossed this over to the left again. Knit through that stitch to the next one. Last time, slip, purl the next stitch. With our left hand needle, grab that stitch and pop them both off, and then grab the stitch like so to our right hand needle and knit that through the back loop. And I'll show you one more wrong side row just so we can see the pattern emerge a little bit. And the same thing on the wrong side row, or if you're working it in the round, you're just going to do a rest row here. So purling through the back loop when we get to those purl bumps. All the way across. And there's the last one right there. And now you can see that we just worked. First we had to the right, then we had a little bit of a rest where it's going straight up and down, and then we worked over to the left. So that's how you work Bavarian Twisted Stitches without using a cable needle. I hope that that was helpful to you, and that if you are going to work on the Rippling Sands sweater or any other design where you're using Bavarian Twisted Stitches, that this tutorial gave you a little bit more ease. And it is a little bit slower to knit these patterns, but without using a cable needle, it speeds it up, and the overall effect afterwards is totally worth any slowness you may have in your knitting. So thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions, you can leave a message in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to learn other knitting techniques used in my patterns. Thanks, bye.